Thou shalt not commit adultery. And sub-topic under that is immodesty. Immodesty. Generally, immodesty refers to a lack of reserve or decency. It is primarily used either to describe clothing or behavior that is considered indecent or overly revealing. And so it relates to conduct or appearance that offends accepted standard of decency. You know, many Christians today they believe and understand the sixth commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, to exclusively prohibit a sexual relationship between man and woman outside marriage. By implication, so many other sexual relationships can be done with marriage, that's within marriage. Unfortunately, these people fail to realize that the sixth commandment also forbids every sexual act involving any form of bodily, psychological, or emotional abuse of oneself or others. And so, any attempt at all to create or manipulate a limited understanding of the sixth commandment seems to be the one of those efforts we make in justifying sexual sins. And this is where we hear things like fornication is not a sin because it is not among the Ten Commandments. The sixth commandment, you shall not commit adultery, obviously includes all sexual relationships between persons not bound by the sacrament of marriage. It also consists of any form of same-sex sexual relationship, masturbation, rape, pornography, lust, bestiality, incest, child abuse of all kinds, and many others. But these are among the more common sexual sins. The sixth commandment covers them all and many more. In the famous sermon on the Mount, when Jesus was referring to the vocation of marriage, he clearly demonstrates his strict interpretation of God's law when he says, you have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Matthew chapter 5, from verse 27 to 28. This tells us again that the sixth commandment calls us to be modest. The sixth commandment forbids us not only against lusting after another person in our hearts, but also from using or communicating with obscene words, telling indecent stories, engaging in impure conversations, or even singing filthy songs. Immodesty, as it relates to the sixth commandment, would include one, impure thoughts and desires. Evil thoughts are to be resisted, both on account of their sinfulness in themselves and because they lead to immodest actions. In fact, they are like a spark which brings out a great fire unless it is immediately quenched. And just like St. Jerome would compare unchastity to a snake whose head must be instantly crushed before it can eject its deadly poison. Evil thoughts must be crushed at once. This must be done most readily by diverting our minds or having recourse to prayer. And as long as evil thoughts are displeasing to us, they are not sinful. As long as evil thoughts are displeasing to us, they are not sinful. We are only to be blamed if we take pleasure in them. And you see this in Proverbs chapter 15, verse 26. The Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but the thoughts of the pure are pleasing. If you entertain impure thoughts, you give room to impure desire. This means that you are longing for sin. You are setting up an environment for sin, and you are looking up to it. For example, you have these evil thoughts of asking a married woman out. From that evil thought, you begin to desire evil. From that evil thought to evil desire, you must run away from it. That room must be cut off immediately. The second is impure words. A man or a woman whose conversation is unclean has a thoroughly polluted conscience. Unchaste words are a sign of unchaste manners. And those who take pleasure in listening to improper conversations are in great danger of falling into the sin of infidelity, especially in marriage. As a married man, you are always in a place where they discuss how they carry other people's wives, how they carry women, how they do it, how they hide. You are polluting your conscience little by little. And as a woman, you do the same thing. You are already in great danger. 3. Immodest looks. Bold looks are forbidden because they lead to sin. Just like parents forbid a child to play with sharp objects. The sin on which the eye looks with pleasure soon takes possession of the heart. And that is why Psalm chapter 9, verse 9 says, never dine with another man's wife, or revel with her as wine, or your heart be turned aside to her, and in blood you may be plunged into destruction. You must observe custody of his eye. Like a driver who is not looking at where he's going to, you already know what will happen. David would not have had so much to worry about if he had kept watch over his eyes. You know the story. Also with the elders concerning Susanna's case. This brings us to the fourth, looking at immodest pictures, going to improper plays, reading books of an immoral tendency. The eyes again, looking. Immodest pictures and plays corrupt more easily than impure conversations because what one sees makes a deeper impression than what one hears. Remember the words of Jesus. He who looks at a woman lustfully has committed adultery with her in his heart. We must also guard what we read, the kind of play we indulge in, the kind of games. You attend parties now and you hear the word, those who are adults 18 plus and they and they involve in devil's games, immoral games, sexual games. This does not lead us anywhere. Rather, it leads us to sin. The reading of sexual novels, porn novels, they are dangerous. They do a lot of harm to us. They spur us to sin. Number 5 is immodest dressing. In short, those who dress immodestly are the devil's instruments for the ruin of souls. There is something about indecent dressing that we must be aware of. Many of us have forgotten that it is a moral obligation to be our brother's keeper. And what does it mean to be one's brother's keeper? While trying to stay away from sin, we must do well to help others do the same. But how can indecent dressing help one to be their brother's keeper? Why we should train ourselves to keep custody of our eyes and minds. It is very, very important to help others to do the same. If not, it helps throw some persons who are less disciplined into simple thoughts and fantasies when we dress in the same. And the focal point concerning immodesty in regards to the sixth commandment is to do whatever it takes to fight against the sin of lust in our hearts, in the hearts. Because it is better to lose those eyes and enter into the kingdom of heaven than to have them and to be thrown into hell. This is the image Jesus himself used. Jesus used this imagery to show the seriousness of sexual sins in the hearts. And know that Jesus did not make this up, not at all. This was already part of the Old Testament. The last two commandments are you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, and you shall not covet your neighbor's goods. So already in the Old Testament, God is trying to get his people to see that sin begins in their hearts with the will. To help us not to fall into this, avoid idleness, custody of the eye. Just like Job said in Job chapter 31, I made a covenant with my eyes not to look lustfully at a young woman. You also can follow in that footstep. Follow in his footsteps. Avoid immodest dress and dressing, exposing your body, your sensitive body part. I want to talk about immodest dressing. We're not talking about the girls only because whenever I talk about innocent dressing, what our mind goes to is the girls. Boys can also dress indecently. Avoid impure conversation, impure pictures, no girls. Impure conversations is a touch which lights up the worst version of the young man. And the apostle have said that evil communication corrupt good manners. Compare 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Avoid modest songs and dances. They produce disability effects. Avoid modest pictures, videos. They produce and they possess a fertile influence in exciting unlawful attractions and thereby endangering young ones and young minds. And above all, be prayerful, praying for the grace of God. If the occasions of sin are carefully avoided, almost every excitement or lust will be removed. But the most efficacious means for subduing the violence and impure factions are frequent use of the confession and also communion. Immodesty is not to be associated with us Christians. Let us remember, chastity is a gift. Marriage is a gift. Marriage is a vocation. And remember, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. This, we have any question, any comment, any remark, any contribution, let us make it known.
Good morning, Father. Good morning, everybody. My question, we're talking of immodesty, and you talk about indecent dressing, and when you look at, when a man look at a woman lustfully, or when the other partner look at the person that is dressed immodest, that person have committed sin. what of the person that dresses that immodest way? He said it's double instrument. Does the person really still commit sin? That the sin is for the two of them, or how do you see it?
How we share the same. Okay. The one who has dressed himself is committing sin because he's leading other persons to sin. So you are sharing, you are, in fact, you are the, if there's anyone like, you are the one or you are the originator, and you are spoiling other people because of the way you are dressed, other people are fantasizing, you are leading other persons to sin. So you are committing sin. Yes, the person who is not dressing well sexually, the person who is exposing the body parts, leading others to sin is committing sin. Any other question?
Okay, let me ask this question. Although this topic that everybody, I think, well, let's say everybody understands. But in the beginning, the first episode of it, uh, the speaker mentioned that um, sex was created by God for recreation purpose only. So that as a married couple, that should not be seen as a pleasure. And they also emphasize how God used the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, that people should not eat it. That. So I was now wondering, so like, and this pleasure of a thing, is it that God doesn't want it just for that particular purpose alone, not for any other purpose?
The two goals of marriage, you know what you are doing, you are emphasizing on one, and that's the problem. The goal of marriage, one, procreation, fine. Second, companionship. Don't remove that companionship. Don't remove companionship. Once you remove companionship, you want to look at the other person as a tool. The way you're emphasizing it, like a sexual tool, if you like. So there is procreation on one hand to give birth to children, and there is also companionship to stay together. So they are together. Don't separate and don't hold one so much in high esteem to the detriment of other. So the two goals of marriage, procreation, yes, giving birth to children, and companionship. Companionship. So always put that at the back of your mind. The two.
Glory to Jesus. Father, I thank you. I'm bothered because from catechism class, children there they came were taught immodest wrestling, provoke both humanity and God. And we're learning this dress modestly, either as a boy or a girl. But nowadays the thing is getting ground. Does it mean that all the lessons or the teachings is not being practiced or is not giving meaning to the children, I mean, nowadays? Because I'm dressing everywhere. Even we so-called married and matured men now are dressing naked. Women, if you go to market, they don't know where to put face. So what's really going on in society?
I hope if you go to the market, you're able to buy what you wanted to buy. Hope you don't buy that thing. It's fine. It's all our responsibility to help. You know, people want. I know where you are going to now. You want to say the preachers are not talking. The preachers are not preaching. The men of God are not talking. They are talking. Am I not talking to you now? But I don't know what you're doing in the evening. Yes. So it's all for us. Imagine a parent who does not talk to the children. You see your daughter going out. You can see you have eyes, you are not blind. You see her wearing something that is not befitting. And you allow her, but you are blaming the preacher now. But you live with her in the same house. You are not saying that you are not correcting her. You are not helping her or him. You see your son who is sad in bringing his brother down, exposing his chest. You are not saying anything. You are not encouraging, oh, you are looking good, it's fashion. But now you are putting it on the head of the preacher and the ministers. The ministers and the preachers, they are not staying with you at home. They will talk and they do. You know, some persons, they want to cause chaos out of this issue. And that's why you see some of our older women and men, they want this because people can dress like this to church. But they want them to be driven away. Maybe somebody standing at the gate to check what you are doing. Get out of this, live here. They are happy. And you will go to some churches, you see that they have signs to remind us. When they put a mobile phone and they put a cross to say, don't press the phone in the church. In fact, when you are coming to the church, switch off your phone. You put a dress, a symbol of a cloth or a dress, and you put to tell you in the same dress is not allowed that you can be reminded with all these things. So as they talk, they put signs. The parents should also help. Guidance, people who are staying with you, you see them within the house. Because at the end of the day, it's what you even train your child with that he or she will grow with. So if you are very comfortable with your son or your daughter dressing half naked, showing sensitive body parts, they think it's even normal. And when they are grown, they continue. And it's now very difficult to help them. So, parents, you have a lot to do. As ministers are talking, praying for you, you also must take the bull by the hands and train your children. But how can a mother train a child when she is also dressing in the same way? So at the end, you must even train yourself first. So when you are well trained, you can train your children. Because if a mother is dressing half naked, she cannot correct the daughter if she doesn't have naked because they are the same. So you have a lot to do. Parents, elder brothers and sisters also. You cannot be dressing decently as an elder brother. You see your younger sister deviating. You can help her. You should help her. So it's not left for parents, elder ones, senior brothers, senior sisters. And you can also do this when you are dressing well. You cannot be sagging your trouser as an elder brother and you see your younger man sagging. What do you tell? What do you tell? How do you tell him? Because there are contradiction. So it's left for all of us. Preachers, parents, guardians, all of us. I would have included neighbors, but the way our world is going, when you correct somebody, they can come and attack you. Who sent you? Why are you disturbing? Leave them. Leave them. But it was not like that. People would correct everybody. Neighbors, you would correct your neighbors' children. But I don't think people take it now. Leave me, yes, leave me alone and my children. Don't talk. It's okay. So you train your children, train them. You don't allow your neighbors to talk to them or to correct them. Elders, train them and take them very well. Be open to correction. So it's two sides. As they are correcting you, you on the other hand must be ready to accept correction. You must be ready to accept correction. And that's why the question you asked at the beginning, the sin of the person dressing in this yes, is a sin. You also who is participating and getting lost, but you're also committing sin. So you must also help yourself. Two sides, help yourself. The person, if you dress well, you will not know that to sin. But if somebody has decided to be the devil's instrument, you also must have custody of your eyes and mind.
Glory to Jesus. But I know I like asking something first of all. I'll do so. Ask one. Adultery. Man, uh, countless times after going through the Bible back and forth, the New Testament, a man who has a wife, we say marriages is the dowry payment, right? That's what solidifies marriage. The dowry payment, the one done between families. Now, let's say a man who has a wife, maybe in a different continent, has done marriage. Now, he lives down this way. He never had any sexual, uh, there was never intimacy between him and any person. But he goes ahead to marry a second wife. How much of a sin is that? Is there is he attached to adultery? Second, people that work in places where they deal with those that are into physiotherapy, they work in spas and they offer massage. How would you define people in those workspaces?
Well, the first one, very simple and direct. You are already married. That answers the question. You are already married and you are going into another marriage. There's already a problem. You are a married man. You are a married man, first and foremost. You are a married man. And because of the difference in continent, because you married in Asia and you are here in Africa now, you are married. It's not bound by distance. It's not the father to go, the more the marriage will last or it's you are married. Somebody who is married far Australia is married even if he goes to Nigeria. So you can't engage in marriage because you are married. So if you want to go the civil way, you divorce. That ends it. Yes. And that's what I'm saying. The civil. That ends it. But if not, you are married. And if you are married, you cannot go into another marriage. Just like when if what we read out during fast, if anybody knows any reason why this person should not get married, see the priest. And somebody comes and says he's married to you. So how can we go on with the other marriage? You're already married. So you are married. You are married. Then the second one, the workspace for massage. Well, you see, at the end of this, at the end of this, um, if I tell you that if you need a massage, go and meet your mom for massage. You say, how far you are. Okay, so that you tell us what I don't know, I can only say or think this is where you are going to. But if you know what you are saying, that is not good, if this is not good, if it's leading you to sin, anything that will lead you to sin.
Why I asked,
Yes.
medically, a lot of times, doctors will refer you to therapeutic services for your muscles. It's part. It was never written as a crime.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the mental struggle in that space. Not even for you going. One, you going. Maybe after an accident, when somebody is trying to heal and they refer you for physiotherapy sessions and all that. Yeah, you are going to go through that process. There's never an argument. One, for the person going through the process. And two, people that work in that space.
I want to believe that there are males and females working in that space, right? So if a man is going for that session, if you don't feel comfortable as a person under the touch of a woman, a man can also massage a man. You are not just agreeing. So it's possible not to request for who massage you. What I'm saying, is it out of place to say, no, I do not want this? If it's not out of place, it means you still have the choice. So make good use of your choice. Make good use of your choice. You said? No, you don't commit sin or because God is a merciful God, then you go ahead to commit sin. I'm asking again, is it possible for you to decline a particular gender? If it is possible, it means that the choice is still with you. That's what I'm asking at the end of it. You still have the choice to make. The answer is in your hands. So make the right choice.
Good morning, Father. Father, thank you for this wonderful question. Father, my question goes like this. I want to know if indecent dressing is limited. If yes, now I want to know that some part of cultures, part of the world, they dress indecently. And if you are opportunity to go to that culture, you want to watch what they are doing. How can one control one eye when you see social culture dressing indecently? Thank you, Father.
I don't think there is. If someone is naked and the other person is naked, you are all in the same space, right? There's nothing different. That's why maybe in boarding school where people bathe together, they are already naked. Nobody is. It's when you are wearing clothes that you are looking at somebody who is naked are different. So when you talk about culture at the end of the day, you said there are cultures, all of them are in it, and that is their belief. I want to believe that it is not, they don't, in quotes, glory in what you think they do, because it's now culture. It's you who is not thinking, oh, this person is naked. For them, now normal, in quotes, because all of them, if all of them are showing, for example, their breasts, all of them, there's nobody that is, we are all of us, we are all exposing it, and we are all seeing, and we say it's our culture. So it's you, if they are the one. Now think, yo, this person is naked. Cut it off. If your eye makes you to see, cut it off. So, cut your eyes. Well, of course, not to be taken. My question is, you already know that how they behave like that. Why are you there? What do you want to see? So you are taking yourself there, and you already know occasion of sin.
Glory to Jesus. I think everything borders on discipline, if you ask me. I'm a health professional, so I know what we see in the hospital. But then I take it as my job. Even now, I know I'm an elderly person now, but even when we were young then, they send us into room, you see young guys, when we know that, okay, we needed boyfriends or something, it never crossed our mind. We just go in, we do our jobs. Even we laugh over it. You see, sometimes they will tell us to go and catheterize. When you pass a catheter for a male, when you are trying to catheterize, you see them responding. So we will now call her and she say, "Ma, please, I cannot do it again." Because we've been taught that it's our duty. We don't attach emotions to it at all. It is your job, you do your job and live there. I tell you that if you know you cannot control yourself, ask somebody else to come and do it. It's discipline. That's just the truth. There's nothing they attach to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that answers your question today. Very clear, because she's working there and she understands what she's saying. It's your job. Your job. You are doing your job. So you are the one. You are the one. Somebody is doing their job and you are there thinking. So have custody of your eyes and your mind.
So, and to add to what she said, apart from discipline, there is something called professionalism. If I'm going for a massage, I'm going there because my doctor told me to go there. So I'm going for therapy. It's my thought when I see the person touching me that affects whatever I'm there to do. And you, the massage therapist, it's your thought in your job. This is your job to do. So thinking something else, because you see me naked and you're massaging me and you're thinking something else, then you're unprofessional. And personally, I would advise, if you know you do a job that involves the opposite sex and it gets you aroused, then you have to change the job.
Yes, I agree totally with you. Because at the end of the day, so if as a guy, a man, you plait hair, and you are plaiting the hair of a woman, and there's a problem, and you are thinking something in your mind, then there's a problem. There's a problem. So, discipline, professionalism, you are doing your work, and you must take it as such. And you who have come for massage or to plait your hair, sin starts from the heart. What are you thinking about? Your body is failing you. I think so what are you not thinking about? You came that your body is broken. So what is now your problem? Is it your body that's paining you? What is paining you now? It's not the body. So what is the psychiatric doctor at the end of the day? But it's fine. And that answers professionalism, discipline. I'm very happy she spoke because she's working there. Do your work. It's your work. It's your work. If not, many will have different problems, different jobs at all that involves the opposite sex in any form. So we must be disciplined at the end of the day. At the end of the day, discipline must come, professionalism must come. Do your work and do it well. Any other contribution, question?